Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Thank you guys for being here. Johnny Hoover, let me see. Ends up Kargaz has been working with Blizzard, has an NDA, and Blizz kept out Dungeon Finder and Quest Helper out of rest so people would buy rested XP. He is also in the hardcore, yeah. Johnny, is this like new? Is this new news about that situation? Is this like new stuff that's come out? Yeah, like Tim said, is there actual like admission by someone at Blizz or any actual evidence? Because yeah, we kind of we talked about the allegations last week. And guys, welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Alex, hello. So like I don't mind hearing about it if it's like if there's some new stuff that came out. But I haven't really been trying to follow it a lot. I think that when a person takes down all of their YouTube content and stops streaming, that's a pretty clear admission of some kind of guilt. But yeah. So we are at Refuge Point. I think I want to go do the Witherbark Troll stuff today for like a little bit of a change of scenery. I thought about going to Stranglethorn, but I figured we just do this. It was 3 days ago. I think 3 days ago was when I went on my explosive rant about it and dropped like 6 F-bombs in Stranglethorn. I was pretty upset and disappointed. But not very surprised or taken aback or anything like that. The fact that people, you know, are motivated by greed and will basically do anything they can to make money, even at the expense of the game they supposedly love and the community they supposedly love, that doesn't surprise me. It saddens me, but it doesn't surprise me. People are a product of the world that they have to come up in, and the world that a lot of people have had to come up in has been a capitalist shithole for a long time now. So it's not surprising to see, like, especially younger people's motivations kind of get twisted towards just blatant capitalism and greed. It's to an extent, it's not even their fault. Obviously there's choice involved, but you know, you get conditioned by the society you have to live in, by the values that the people around you purport. It sucks. But anyway, let's try to have a relaxing time this morning. We don't really need to get into things unless there's like new stuff coming out. Especially not this thing, because even when I try to talk calmly about this, I can feel my blood pressure go up. And it's like the calmer I try to be about it, the louder my heart pounds. So I can like tell by these physiological reactions that it's something that upsets me a lot. And, yeah. I haven't quite got control of all those emotions yet to be able to talk about it, like, absolutely calmly. That's why I haven't done any kind of thoughts video or even researched it very much, because I'm just not calm about it. And I don't like to approach things that require thought when I'm not calm about them. Tim, you were digging the Night Elf Priest? That's awesome. Yeah, I hope people will like that one, especially those who I know some people don't really enjoy the streams because they're not really the same vibe. And I totally get that. So I'm hoping that people will dig that one. I really enjoy doing it, especially now that we've been streaming so much, you know, it's different. So I'm really happy to be able to enjoy both forms of content. The other thing we talked a little bit about yesterday was the trading post stuff. And I eventually did watch the Asmongold. I watched the Asmongold reacting to Nixium. And yeah, I still think Blizzard's gonna pivot away from that. And I think that they're gonna do something besides sell it for real money. But we'll see. Fair warning, everybody. I've been under the weather for like the past 3 days. I have not been feeling my best. I've had crappy nights of sleep. I've had like, you know, you get like chills and then sweats and then chills and then sweats. And then I have like mucus building in the back of my throat. So it's part of the reason why I'm on later today, because like in the morning it's especially bad. But after a while, once I get my body moving, I start to feel a little better. But if I sound a little bit off, or if you see me break into a cold sweat, it's probably the illness and not the conversation or the company. And I should just put that... I mean, I feel good right now. The thing is, like, when I'm streaming and I'm sitting still, and I have my coffee and my water, like, I start to feel fine. And then when I get up from the stream, I remember that my entire body aches. We think it's the virus that my son had. My wife got it too, so it's like, it's been a week apart. One of his friends had a virus. A week later, he got it. He got better. A couple days later, my wife got sick. And then a couple days after she got better, I started to feel really bad. Ryan Wallace says, nice. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's super generous of you. Thanks for being here. But yeah, I'm gonna be fine. But just in case I seem a little bit off, there's my explanation of why. I'm not medicating for it or anything. I'm just working through it. But yeah, I might look more disgusting. Like right now, I put this cardigan on because I had the chills. And now I can tell that I'm going to break out into a sweat. It's that kind of fun time. So, yeah. I got a workout in, so I'm feeling good. I like to work out when I feel like this because it just kind of... I sweat some of it out and it pushes it away and I can think about something else. So I did get a workout in before the stream. Just to remind myself that I am going to live, you know. That I can persevere. Strength before weakness. So we need tusks from them, but apparently they don't all have tusks, so this is not going to be a 100% chance. And then we need the medicine pouches from the medicine men. But we can get the tusks from anybody. See, this is easier than the Horde quest requires you to kill 3 types of different trolls and also get the medicine pouches. You might be right, Tim. I'm not going to push too hard, but yeah, like I said, when I'm sitting and I'm like stationary, I get to a point where I start to feel okay. And then the problems begin again once I stand up and start moving around the house and doing other stuff. Johnny in the Navy used to go to the boiler room with a jug of OJ and sweat it out 130 degrees and then run into the AC after an hour or so. Yeah, sweating it out, that's why I do the workout too. It's like, I feel like, I don't know if that's like medical myth, but I feel like it has to help a little bit because clearly my body is trying to sweat something out on its own. So yeah, definitely. If I had a sauna, that's what I would do. I used to love when I had access to like a steam room and a sauna. Those were the days. Those were like the only good thing about going to the office back in the day was like it was next to an awesome gym, so I got to go to the gym on my lunch break and I got to go into the sauna. That was the way. What is 130 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius? Really effing hot. Yeah. It's really effing hot. Hot enough to make every pore in your body explode with sweat simultaneously. Yeah. Imagine every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light. Oh wait, that's something else. That's what happens when you cross the streams. Sorry. A shot of NyQuil and a shot of Jameson, Mark. Most doctors would tell me not to do that. Most doctors would say no. But I see where you're coming from. You know, I try not to take things like NyQuil unless it's like particularly heinous and I'm just like super unable to sleep for days at a time. So right now I haven't medicated for it. Reese, happy Friday, man. Thanks for being here. Oh, muted. No, I'm not nervous. Somebody asked if I got nervous, and no, I'm not nervous about what level we are. I'm nervous when I do something really stupid that pulls a bunch of guys, and then I get nervous. But if you're asking, like, am I just nervous all the time because of like the stress of it? Absolutely not. No, I only feel the stress of hardcore when I feel like I'm about to die. The rest of the time, we're just playing the game. Yeah, I will try not to ride my mute too much, but like I said, I am just disgusting today, so the amount of throat clearing and coughing that might have to happen will absolutely require that a lot of the time I'm going to be on mute, but I'll try to make sure that I'm not talking for entire rants while on mute. But yeah, my body's leaking today, so it's a it's a good day. You'd think they'd at least be smart enough to summon the healing ward like right at the start of combat, and not when they're at half HP. We're just not getting any tusk, but you know what would really help if I were looting everything. Looting everything would really help. Still no tusks. This is probably going to be a good place to grind then. You know, the quest is level 36, but a lot of the guys are green even. So that always kind of confuses me when they give a quest a higher level than the enemies that you have to fight for it, especially when it's like 3 or 4 levels higher. I wonder if that's like, is that a Questie thing? Alex, the drop rate seems absolutely abysmal. But in this case, like in hardcore, I guess I really don't mind. We're gonna have to do grinding anyway, and I guess the more grinding I can do while feeling like I'm actually working towards a quest objective, the better will be. So yeah, it's like, yeah, the drop rate is bad, and like my reaction is to complain about that. But in this case, if you think about it, it's actually a good thing. So these guys aren't too dangerous. Granted, we have groups like this that are kind of packed together, but we can avoid those for the most part. Micah, what's the hardcore add-on? The hardcore add-on is the add-on that kind of tracks your progress through the hardcore challenge. It gives you the rules and stuff like that, and it verifies your character. So if you're actually doing the challenge, you want to have the hardcore add-on installed through CurseForge before you start your character at level 1. And it'll pop up, it'll have all the rules for you and stuff, you can take a quick read through. But yeah, it's the add-on we use that is actually going to validate you for like succeeding in the challenge, basically. Granted, you can do a solo hardcore run without the add-on, but most people... Yeah, it is just called hardcore, yep. If you go to your CurseForge and you type hardcore under the classic era dropdown, you'll find it. Well, I wanted to check inside of this hut. I can't quite see, but I think we'll be okay. Heavy Beard asks, do I have any tips for people who want to start streaming games? My biggest tip is just to start doing it as soon as you can. If you think it's something you want to do, don't wait on it. Start doing it right away. Pick a game that you're super familiar with and something that you love. But the most important thing is that you love the game you're playing. Don't just pick something that's like popular for streaming right now. Make sure it's something you actually really enjoy. And don't wait or put it off starting it, you know. Get the bare essentials of what you need going and don't worry about the rest. Swellmate asks, what is love? The real question is, what's love got to do with it? Swellmate, that's the real question. Leo, you haven't missed much yet. We are doing the troll stuff here in the Arathi Highlands. And that's it. We kind of just got going a little bit ago. I haven't had to rant about anything yet, you know. There have been no controversial subjects in the chat, so everything has been pretty chill. I'm sure by the end of the stream someone will be trying to tell me about some new Blizzard news or leak or something. So we'll just have to wait and see. I checked Wowhead before I got on, there was nothing new going on. Doesn't mean that won't change. Although, like, I feel like we have some dates for a couple of things, and I haven't really written it all out or anything to kind of figure it out, but I think we can kind of say that the hardcore servers are probably going to happen in August. So the new XP buff that's in retail, they put a new XP buff in, and that's going to end around July 22nd, I think it was. And so July 22nd is going to be when the next patch comes out for retail. It's going to be that week or the week after. So we're not going to get hardcore servers in July because it would compete with that. We're not getting hardcore servers in June because it would compete with right after the Lich King dropping Trial of the Crusader. So we're not getting hardcore servers till August. And I would expect mid to late August for hardcore servers based on the dates we have for everything else now. We have the Blizzard Summer roadmap now. We know Trial of the Crusader June, end of the month, right? Yep. And now we know that that 10.1.5 is probably going to be the second to last week or the last week of July. And they're not going to double up on things. So then we can expect to get hardcore either in August or September. Remember that summer goes all the way till September, and they promised hardcore in summer. So yeah, but I'm thinking August. Lale, I don't know if they hired him. Did they hire him? The guy that did the Wrath trailer for TOC and the original Wrath trailer from launch, from classic launch. Yeah, those trailers are good. I don't know that they. I hope they didn't. I hope he did not let them hire him. I hope that he did not let himself get made an employee. I hope he charged them money for his work, and that he remains an independent person. Because the last thing that you should want at this point, especially if you have that kind of skill, the last thing you should want is to work at Activision Blizzard. So I really hope that they're just paying him and that he didn't become an employee, because that'd be fucking sad. Oh god. And it's like, that'd be the worst thing would be like, some people think that's the dream. It's not the dream. Bobby does need a new yacht. Listen, from Blizz's perspective, if they just pay the guy once, that's going to be a lot cheaper, realistically, than keeping him on the payroll. If he stays for 10 years, they're going to have to give him a golden parachute when he goes. Yeah, it's in their best interest for both parties just to, like, give him a bunch of money right up front and, like, just buy the cinematic from him and they can all carry on with life. Maybe he makes another one someday. Maybe he goes and works at a real game studio that'll pay him what he's worth. You know, those are options. Like, yeah, what I would do is I would sell that to Blizz, and then I would use it as my resume to go work at a game studio that isn't, like, just always neck deep in negative publicity. I just go work at a normal game studio that makes good games. Where, like, you don't have to hear about some new atrocious capitalist scandal bullshit every other week. Like, nobody wants to work at a place like that. Nobody wants to work at a place where, like, you're kind of embarrassed to tell people, like, you want to tell people your job, but you don't want to tell them what company you work for. Because they'd be like, oh, that Activision Blizzard? And so, yeah, like, no one wants that job. No one should, and that's why people are leaving Blizzard, yeah. That's why so many people are leaving. Oh, that is gross. My coffee is... It's not really hot anymore, and it's getting low. Very, very, very sad. I should probably switch over to, like, tea with honey, with the way that my throat is feeling. But I like coffee too much. And I don't really like tea that much. Actually, I don't even know if I have tea. I might have some green tea. Alex, how much coffee do I drink a day? Let's see. So, I could probably actually calculate this because I'm using a Keurig, which is horrible. But the good thing about it is I have to press the number of ounces that I want. So I do 18 ounces once, twice, 3 times, and then sometimes I do 12. 18 times 3 for sure, and then sometimes plus another 12. Yeah, 18 ounces times 3. And sometimes plus 12 more. 40 to 50 ounces a day. I think. Sometimes more, sometimes less. But never too much less. Never too much less unless I'm, like, actually so sick that I just haven't been able to drag myself out of bed to drink coffee, and that only happens, like, once a year. That I'll have a day where, like, I just can't get out of bed all day. A doctor would probably tell me that I drink too much coffee. Just a normal person might tell me that I drink too much coffee, and it would be true. Good night, Gracie. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Alex, you say that's quite a lot. I think that it is. Yeah, it absolutely is. There are probably guidelines for like how much coffee one should ingest in a day, and I am definitely beyond those guidelines. But to be fair, and it's like, so this is just qualifying it, but I don't put sugar or any like sweetener in my coffee. I just put a little bit of milk. So like, it could be worse, right? I could be drinking 80 ounces of like a frappuccino with extra cream and extra sugar, whatever. I don't even know these drinks, but I always tell myself that it could be worse, because I could be someone that really likes like sweetened creamer, and thankfully I'm not. Point Madness, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you guys who are filtering into the stream. I appreciate y'all being here. A disclaimer for today is that I have been sick for the past couple days, and it's like the virus that my son had. So while I don't have the fever, because the doctor told us that typically the adults won't get the fever part. So although I don't have the fever part, I have basically every other part that he had. So like the physical misery of sore muscles, the chills followed by the sweats all day long, and I'm getting like mucus and stuff in my throat. So if I seem a little bit off today, or I sound a little bit off, I plead out that I'm just getting sick. I am not getting sick, I am being sick, so. Remco, you had to get up and get a coffee after all that coffee talk. Exactly, I feel like I need to do that soon. Jake, caffeine can be a danger for some people, especially if you like have like chronic high blood pressure and stuff. But I think I'm okay. For me, I'm actually like, I'm hypoglycemic to an extent, so like I suffer from chronically low blood sugar if I'm not eating meals throughout the day and stuff like that. So for me, the sugar would be much worse, because with the way my blood sugar is, if I had a lot of sugar in my daily diet, which I don't, if I did, I would be pushing myself towards becoming a diabetic. So yeah, for me, the sugar would be worse. The caffeine obviously has like health impacts, definitely. I make lots of qualifications for my bad behavior. I say, well, I exercise and I'm pretty physically active. You know, but that won't matter if my like aorta explodes because of all the caffeine and blood pressure. You know, those excuses won't stand up then. I totally get that. But yeah, cheers to the people drinking coffee right now, because it is delicious. Alex, yeah, you know, they say that if you are going to drink a lot of coffee, you should eat something with it, because I think that like the acidity in the coffee, and I tell my wife this too, that yeah, you should really put something in your stomach before you drink coffee in the morning. I have at least one piece of toast before I put any coffee in my stomach, because I think that if I woke up and went right for the coffee, yeah, I'd probably have an ulcer. It probably wouldn't be good. And so I do try to eat something and drink some water before I start in on the coffee. And then I try to snack throughout the day with it, because yeah, it can definitely be very acidic and cause some stomach lining problems. I've definitely had times in my life where like I wasn't a big eater of breakfast though. Like when I was younger, I would just wake up and have a coffee. Especially like in high school and stuff, I was just waking up, having coffee, and going to school. You know, when you need food the most to make your brain active, that was the time in my life when I was like least good about feeding myself breakfast and like having a proper diet. When my brain really needed it the most. Yeah, at that time in life, man, it's hard to be healthy growing up because, like, it's depending on your parents and your upbringing and the people you're around and the schools you go to, like, you learn different things about what it takes to keep a human body healthy. And I feel like I didn't learn a lot of that stuff when I was a kid. I didn't really learn about what it took to keep the human body healthy and alive until I was already, like, in my 30s. And then it was like, well, okay, I've already been messing this whole being alive thing up, you know? And it's like, I really wish instead of turning kids into fucking human calculators like they do at school, they actually would teach them meaningful shit about the world they inhabit and the body they have to inhabit and the shit that goes on and how to take care of things properly in the world and with yourself. You know, instead of turning my kid into a human calculator, why don't you try to explain to him why he needs to drink like 6 cups of water a day, why he needs to, you know, do all these things? Because I'm not with him for the 8 hours a day. He's at school for 8 or 9 hours a day. And like the things they're teaching them are things that are going to be wholly useless when it comes to like just being a human being that takes care of yourself. But they'll be able to do some mental math, you know. That's great. It's not like we have calculators or computers around to do that stuff. They'll be really good at mental math and just really terrible at most other things. Sam, do I think it's worth it to return to WoW? Absolutely. Yeah. I think that no matter what version of WoW you think you will enjoy, there is something here for you. It is a great time to return to WoW. Absolutely. Sometimes to return to WoW, you just have to, like ignore like negative PR about WoW. You just have to get in and like try to enjoy the game itself. Try to enjoy the game that the developers made and don't really worry about the company or what it's doing. So, because we can't do anything about that stuff. Little golf ball sized hail. That sounds absolutely awful. It's still autumn temperatures here where I'm at. I think it's like 68 degrees outside right now, which is not typical. That's colder than average. We're going to warm up next week and we'll probably start getting some crazier weather. But luckily right now things have been chill. The Great Lakes, man, they protect us in Michigan from so many crazy weather patterns. We get so lucky with the lakes, you know. Like when we get really bad weather, it's usually like a really bad windstorm that, like, you know, we might get some 60-mile-per-hour winds a couple times a year. And we might get some like heavy snow, but we don't get a lot of like really, really crazy stuff. At least we haven't yet. The planet gets more and more messed up every year, so you know, we have time. But so far we've been relatively saved. Jake, you're running a lock and a rogue? Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good like balance of like melee and caster. I like that. Yeah, Alex, it feels like autumn here too. It's really nice. It's not going to last. That's the crappy thing. But like the longer it lasts, the closer we get to actual autumn. And yes, I'm already awaiting actual autumn. Even though summer hasn't started yet. We're still a couple days out. The good thing about Michigan is that even when it's really hot during the day, at least until August, it usually cools off at night. So you might have a day that it gets to 90, but the low is going to get down to like 65. You know, it's going to cool off. And in Missouri, it wasn't like that. In Missouri, you had a day that was 90 degrees for a high. The low was going to be 80. So even at like 10 o'clock at night, you were still just sweaty and miserable. That was not pleasant. I like how they trapped us, and they didn't run away or do anything. And they're a headhunter, so they could have backed off and thrown the axes, but they didn't do that. All right, let's drink our. Ooh, what do we get? Oh, Formula Enchant Gloves with skinning. Teaches you how to permanently enchant gloves to give +5 skinning skill. Oh, that's super neat. It's too bad we really can't. Oh, look at that. Those are the exact same stats we already have. Like the exact same level, the exact same armor, spirit, stamina. What are the odds of that happening? Oh, that's a different kind of look. Okay, well, I mean, sure, we'll probably just sell it. In Oregon, it's 90 during the day and 56 at night. Tentris, that's awesome. I like that. I don't like the 90, but I like how it like cools way off. That makes it like so much more livable, just because you know the temperature is going to drop way off. So like you might be sweating in the middle of the day, but you're like, yeah, by 9 o'clock, all this will be past. I like that. I can definitely deal with heat better if I know there's a time when there will be a reprieve from it. Let's take a look at this little cave. Maybe it's a shallow cave with a chest in it? I don't see a chest. It does look shallow though. Let's see. No, negative. Negative. It goes deep. Yeah, we probably don't want to go in here, but we can get some iron right here at the surface. That's not bad. Yeah, we're gonna not go into the cave. That would probably be a better idea. It seems like it's pretty packed. Looking at how many potential spawn points there are. Caves are bad, Whitney. They're exciting when there's like a reason to go into them. Like if we're doing it just the challenging quest we did in that Barrow Den in Ashenvale, that was a cool reason to like risk it in like a cave, because we got a really cool sword for it. But yeah, risking it in a cave with no like big payoff is not worth it. It's just foolhardy. Yeah. Well, there we go. That is 10 out of 10 and 4 out of 4. We need a Shadow Hunter knife. Okay. So the Shadow Hunters, they might be back in that cave. Yeah, actually, okay. Well, that's interesting. So we might have to go into this cave. What's the reward for this one? Only 75 silver that I don't need. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? We can poke our heads in, and we can just see how we feel about it. These guys are runners. I mean, it's a cave. The good thing is we're not seeing like a lot of hyper respawns, because I don't think there's a lot of people here. Yeah, there's absolutely not a lot of people here. But look, we're already getting ourselves into trouble on the outside of the cave. Let's see how deep we would have to go to find a Shadow Hunter. If we can just get to like the first room, then maybe it would be okay. But if we have to go like all the way to the back of the cave, then I don't know. I don't know. Well, I see another player back here, so if there's another player working their way back, that could make it a lot safer for us. Let's go investigate that after this. We'll see. We'll give them a buff, and maybe we can just kind of casually work cooperatively. I can't hit you up there. That's actually ingenious. Oh no. Okay, I'll say I can't loot it. That means there's going to be an epic on it. G Domino says it could also make it worse with the respawns. Proceed with caution. Yeah, if they're killing super fast, then it could cause respawns to come back in. We'll want to stay like right near them. Who are they? They are a human rogue level 35, so we're all the same level. Okay, yeah, we'll take this one. I would have given them might, but they went into stealth, and I lost my target on them. We're already off to, obviously, like, a super good start, so... Okay, well at least we took care of that one, so we won't have to deal with that same exact situation again. We have 2 more bubbles we can use for physical damage. Oh gosh. What a way to begin. That guy took off. He's a rogue. He is not interested in like buddying up with us. He's gonna sneak back to where he has to go. And he's gonna do his business without us. And we're gonna be on our own. Completely. I can't loot this, so there's an epic on it, obviously. But I can't loot it. Alright, we have a Shadow Hunter back here. We don't have any Shadow Hunters nearby. Oh, look at that. That's a Shadow Hunter. If I were to jump down there, I really don't know how I would be getting out. Yeah, but there's one Shadow Hunter back here, one Shadow Hunter back here. You want to jump down here with me, men? Alright. Yeah. Let's do that. That's what we needed. That was it. Oh, that's right. When people see me, they see my stupid guild tag. We're in like the hardcore Chad gang or something with 4 other people. Okay, let's... Well, that was not the command, was it? Oh, that was not it either. Is there no /G quit in Classic Era? My wife is amazing, so she brought me some tea. She heard me talking about tea on the stream. It turns out we do have tea, and now I have some tea. And yeah, she's awesome. Now I don't have to get up. Hey Shiku, thank you man, thanks for being here. I appreciate you stopping by the stream. What is this? Mithril. Yeah, we can't do that. Okay, I'll take this one. Okay. Alright. Let's do this. Let's keep an eye on his HP. I don't want him to die. Alright, that worked. That worked. Perfect. And we should be able to just go out. Is this leading us out? That I'm not sure, but I think it might be. I'm not really good at navigating caves, so... This doesn't seem like a good place to jump down on a bunch of guys, though. This looks a little bit sketchy. I'm gonna have to mana up. Hage, Robert is a real name, yeah. Rambles is obviously not my real last name. I don't feel like people should really, like, put their last names out on the interwebs if it can be avoided. Which I know people do because of Facebook, but yeah, no, I don't have a super cool last name. If my last name was Rambles Static Display, I would probably still lie and say that it wasn't. And if my last name was Rambles, then I'd probably end up with a different channel name, though. That's like that's like asking, is Christopher Odd's last name actually Odd? It's not. Part of his last name might be. I don't know what his last name is, but it's kind of the same thing, right? Whereas, like, the last name is more of an attribute of me than an actual last name. Hey, Jai, I appreciate that. Thanks for being here, man. I'm glad you enjoy the content. And he's gone. Yeah, he could go right up this, but yeah, apparently we can't, so we will just wait for him to come back. Oh, he brought a buddy. That's super awesome of him. Okay, wow. Just absolute wow. I don't really have the mana to deal with this, and we're gonna have to pop a big healing potion here. No, this is the Bloodsail Buccaneers server, so this is where people are doing the hardcore challenge using the add-on. If you're talking about the official hardcore servers that Blizzard is going to open, that's sometime this summer. But they're not out yet. We think it'll probably be August, late August, based on all the other releases they have going on. She says that I'm playing risky in this zone. Yeah, I'm not playing risky, I'm just not playing carefully. We've done okay. I feel like my choices have been sound. Yeah, when it comes to dealing with a single ad at level with us now, we can basically do it. We have so many bubbles and stuff. Yeah, it probably seems like I'm being super risky. I understand how you would watch me playing and you would definitely feel that way. Nixta, welcome to the stream, man. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see, which way do I want to go around the lake? Let's go this way around the lake. And we will just fight stuff on the way. We're trying to get back to town here. Refuge Point. Where do I have my Hearthstone set? Nigel's Point. Oh, Nigel's Point in Desolace. Okay. It's a different point. Yeah, we don't want to use the Hearthstone here. We don't want to teleport back to Desolace. That would be bad. SB, when you leveled here on your hunter, some people pulled too many mobs and intentionally tried to save their own lives by running next to you, so you'd get some aggro. Yeah, that can happen, and I feel like people are just like, help me, help me, help me, but they can't ask for help. So they will sometimes like pull enemies close to you with the hope that like, and I don't know if it's always to like grief. I feel like sometimes it is just, they're literally hoping to get some help, because you know, you have that panic moment, and you see another player and you're like, maybe they'll take one of these off of me. Maybe I can live. But yeah, it's not great. You really shouldn't try to get other people on your aggro chain if you got a bunch of guys. You know, you shouldn't try to like get them on your aggro chain by like healing that person or buffing them while you're in combat. It's not very polite to get other people into combat. I usually help anybody that I can. If someone's in trouble and it's not like overwhelming odds against us, I will help anybody I can. We should, let's put some markers up here so we can see these guys coming from like a long way off, because we got really lucky with that. Jory, in Classic Era we get our mount at level 40, and we'll be able to train that from our class trainer. We won't have to pay for it, we won't have to train the riding skill. We're just going to get it as a spell, and we'll be able to ride right away at level 40. I'm going to turn this breadcrumb in just to get the experience, but we're not going to take the follow-up, because the follow-up is an escort quest. I will fight some orcs, though, because of course I want to fight some orcs, man. Orcs versus humans, that's the way to go. There we go. Some classic orc versus human combat. Somebody is actually doing the event, yeah. See, that's the NPC that's shifted into bear form. And you have to follow her around and clear basically everything, but right up ahead somewhere, right in this area back here, it's going to be like a 3-pull. And that's where we can get killed.
Be careful.
Wait, what did I do? Oh no. I took the follow-up. Abort. Abort. I don't know what I did. I probably took the follow-up to talk to the druid lady so that she would begin the escort. Look at what's going on over here. 1, 2, 3. So now the Voidwalker's got one. The player has got one. The tank has got one over here. She looks like she's not in bear form all the time, which is unusual. I think this guy's got it. He's a warlock, so he's probably going to be fine. Yeah, one down. He's going to take that one next. Oh, he's going to help the NPC next. That's actually smart. If she dies, you fail. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if we had a pet, that would be okay. Because otherwise, it's going to be us fighting 2 of them and her fighting 1 of them. And I don't really know if I want to do that. Oh, this is the Forsaken Courier quest. Yeah, no. No. We don't need to worry about the Forsaken Courier. We're not going to be doing that one. Buffalo Bill, good afternoon, man. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Gina J, thank you for the membership. Welcome. Thank you so much. Now you're stuck here. So enjoy. I appreciate you. I appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate everybody lurking. That's awesome. Alex, to be honest, I thought having a night elf in the Eastern Kingdoms was weird too. We got to like level 15 on the Night Elf Warrior. I was doing that immersive play for a while. And it did start to feel a little weird. It was really cool at first. And it still is cool, but it did feel strange just for me to be a night elf. It was weird. I imagine like a night elf druid that's probably more compounded. Buffalo Bill with the 5 gifted memberships. That's super generous of you, man. Thank you so much, and welcome to the 5 new people. Now you're trapped here for as long as Classic lasts. That's awesome. Thank you, man. How am I enjoying Seal of Righteousness compared to Command? I like the new rotation a lot. It feels like it's probably more mana intensive, but I do like it.
Need help? Go with honor, friend.
So, that one is done. I don't think we have anything else that we're going to do here. Not right now. Maybe eventually we can do Wand over Fist when we're like level 40. I think that takes place down here at like an Ogre Mound. And then we have, we have the Lesser Bloodstone Ore back in the Cobalt Caves. Sam, Antonio, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you guys. Thanks for being here. For now, maybe we think about getting ourselves back into Stranglethorn. We actually have quite a few things that we could work on now. I think we could do the Raptors now, they would be okay. Bloodscalp Ears, definitely farmable at this point. So maybe we do that. Let's see.
Good day to you.
What would be the fastest way to kind of get there? I guess we'd want to go to Ironforge and then jump on the tram would probably be faster than just a long flight down to Darkshire.
Have a good.
Let's see. I don't know if it'll end up being any faster, but we can try it. Antonio, thank you, man. I'm glad that you enjoy the content. Thanks for being here and checking out the stream. I know this is a relatively new format, especially for people who've been around the channel for years. Alex, Leatrix Plus can show me flight time? Sam US, what's my favorite class to play? Since I've been doing so much hardcore, I mean, it's always like the class that's still alive, but like historically, I really enjoy the warrior, especially in Classic. I'm Cheese, I totally agree with that statement. Yeah, that statement, absolutely, I completely feel that same way. Interface, in the interface right column, interface. Tooltips. Dress up. Oh. Boop. Okay. And then would that show when we go to like pick the flight at the Flight Master? It would tell us how long we could expect it to be? Or is it tracking it somewhere that I'm not seeing it while we're in the flight? I'm assuming it'd be like an interface thing when we go to select the flight. Sam Conway asks, have I ever watched Super Soaker? No, but people back in the day, well, I checked his channel out because people back in the day said I sounded a lot like him, and this was before I was ever live or showed my face. So I did check out his channel to see that he not only sounded a little bit like me, but he actually looked a lot like me too. And that was like very disconcerting. So yeah, I checked out his channel once. I never really watched him or anything, but yeah, I agree there is a slight resemblance to how we look. Because we're both white dudes with glasses and short buzzed hair and beards. And we do kind of sound the same. It's on my bar. Maybe I'll notice it once we do another flight. Maybe since we were like on a flight when we enabled it. That's why it's not showing up anywhere else. Remco, apparently Leatrix Plus can do like a lot of things. It's changed, like if you look at our quest log, this is not how it usually looks. This is something that Leatrix did. Split it up. And we had changed, oh, the profession. We had blacksmithing, and we had changed how that looked too, to kind of look the same way, where it had everything listed over here, and then the text was on this side. Right on, yeah, it'll be on the next flight. That's cool. It's nice to know, you know, exactly how long it's going to be. That way you know if you can, like, walk away for a sandwich, get some coffee, stuff like that. Zach, you've never played WoW before and know nothing about it. You want to play, but it looks overwhelming. I would say if you start with playing Classic, it won't be as overwhelming. Because Classic is a slower game, so it gives you time to... You start with a couple of abilities. You start with, like, auto attack and, like, one other thing sometimes. And so Classic gives you a lot of time to slowly learn your class, to slowly learn how the game works. You're not in a big rush to level. It's all about exploration and the world and seeing... It's about the idea of, like, seeing what's beyond the horizon, you know, what's in the next zone, what kind of enemies am I going to find today. And it's a slower game. And you'll definitely have time to, like, sink in and get to learn it. Yeah. But just go, know that you're going to go slow, you know. Now, Retail's a little bit different. Retail does a lot of things to try to teach you the game up front right away. Retail's pace is a lot faster, so like your leveling time to get the end game is going to be very condensed. Whereas Classic is about the journey. Let's see, we need to go to the tram. Yep. Hage, yeah, the gear, the importance of gear and like the importance of an epic or a blue or a green is completely different between the two games. Absolutely. It's just a different game, you know. Yeah, you get the epic or whatever right away in Retail, but then like now you gotta level that epic up, you gotta get more item level into it. It's just totally different. Yeah, you know, it feels like there's more significance when you get a drop in Classic, but I feel like players who play Retail, like when they get an upgrade, they feel significance to it. You know, it's not, to them I guess it's not about getting an epic, because yeah, at some point everything is basically an epic, right? If you play long enough. But I think like, yeah, if you're a Retail player, when you do get a true upgrade, that probably still feels pretty good. I don't know if it feels the same, because I'm not a Retail player really, so not for like endgame stuff especially. Yeah, Jason, I think when you do Exile's Reach in Retail, you start getting greens right away with stats on them. Yeah, they introduce you to the stats and stuff right away. Absolutely. It's just a differently paced game, yeah. I've gotten to a point where it's like it's not useful to really like compare the two. I hope I missed the tram again. I didn't. I didn't miss the tram again. It was a close one. It was a close one. But like, listen to this though, like when people play Retail and that's how the game progresses, they're not, those people who are enjoying that, they're not missing out on anything, you know? If they're having a good time in the game, they're not missing out on anything just because it's easier to acquire gear, because the game just like has different focuses. Everyone will always have their preference. I just try to see them as different games these days, and I try, because it's just pointless to compare them. They're 20 years apart from each other. They're just different games. Yeah. And like you know, having different games and looking at different games, sometimes you'll like game A and you won't like game B, and that's kind of what Retail and Classic is like. Some people like them both. Some people look at one or the other and they say, no, that's not the game for me. And I think that's absolutely fine. I think that's the good thing about there being so many different versions of World of Warcraft to play, is like, people, I feel, can typically find a version that they like if they like this style of game. They can typically, between the 3 versions, they can typically find a version that appeals to them. What is there to Wrath of the Lich King endgame rather than raiding? For me, nothing. Yeah, that's why I'm not doing anything in Wrath at endgame right now, because I don't have any impetus to raid. I've raided all that content before. You could do. They got the 5-man hard mode 5-mans, the Titan Rune 5-mans, like, and so you can get from those. You'll be able to get Ulduar 10 gear soon. Not yet, but when the TOC patch comes out, you'll be able to do 5-man hard modes and get Ulduar 10 gear. Which is cool. It's a cool catch-up for people. I like that they added that to the game, but that's not really content, that's just catch-up. You know, it's just a way for people to get gear so that they can go into TOC if they haven't been able to raid in Ulduar yet. And it's mainly so that when people start only raiding TOC, that people can actually get the gear they need to get into TOC groups. But yeah, so they put that in there, and that's not really content to me. It's not new dungeons and stuff, it's just like increased difficulty and better rewards. It doesn't compel me to go back and play it. Because eventually, you know, what's going to happen with Wrath is that, you know, if you're a raider and you're really active in the game, you're going to clear TOC. Maybe you'll do it lots of times with your guild. You'll have a lot of fun if you're really lucky. Eventually, you'll clear Icecrown, you'll kill Arthas, and then what? And then eventually the game will be done. Yeah, the game will be in a done state. There will be no more content, so... Alright, we can move along here. I can try to move and talk at the same time. Gina J, you think I should use the map through the Leatrix? Is that like another button to push to like change the enhanced mini-map? I like the mini-map the way that it is. Like, you're talking I hit M and it's more like a retail map, or like it won't completely cover the entire screen? That would be okay. I wouldn't mind something like that. If that's an option that I can enable. It's a separate add-on. I might look into it. It would be cool to have like the retail size map, not like totally obscuring the screen every time I want to check it. I have a bad habit of tapping my map key a lot. I've tried to cut it out, and or see, I did it again. It's not that I don't know my way around Stormwind. I just have a bad habit of tapping my map. It's a habit that was ingrained into me for 20 years. So I try to cut it out, but it's hard. I need to scroll up. Okay, I will try to scroll up. Oh, Leatrix Maps. Okay, Remco, I see it. Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you. So it's called Leatrix Maps. I'll check it out. Johnny Hoover, you just want to hang out in Stormwind with the cool gear and do nothing? Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are in that boat. Like, I don't have an impetus to really do anything in Wrath at endgame. It just, like... The floor just dropped out from beneath me once I really thought about how many times I did an Ulduar raid with a random group of guild people. I was one of a handful of pugs. I wasn't able to record it and ever publish it because I was in their Discord. I couldn't separate my system audio the way I wanted. They had a soundboard, so not only were they chattering the whole time, they loved their soundboard effects. But then once I did that run, I realized, yeah, that was cool, but I have no desire to ever do this again. So yeah. Let's fly to Darkshire and we'll have to make the run. Oh, look at that. It's a little bit large and a little bit obnoxious, but I feel like it's okay. I feel like they don't have to have the bar. I feel like if it was just like Darkshire and then the time counting down, that would probably be okay. But, you know, the bar is okay. Yeah, it looks like I could adjust it. Yeah, I probably could. That's fair enough. But yeah, maybe I'll look at it later though. I'm not really the best when it comes to wading through these menus and figuring stuff out. It's fine for what it is. I don't think it's annoying, so that's good. It gives useful information, and that's the important part. Andrew's my favorite movie. I don't know. I watch so few movies, especially like in the last 5 years. I've watched so few movies that I feel like any answer I give would be from like a long time ago, and then I don't even know if that would still be true today. Like if I were to watch those movies again, I'd have to think about it. I'm not sure if I have a favorite movie. It would be easy to say like trite things like the Star Wars original trilogy. Or the first Ghostbusters. You know, that's what I think of. Like, my most nostalgic... Those would be my most nostalgic movies. You know, the first Ghostbusters movie. The original Star Wars trilogy. Are they my favorite movies? I don't know. I don't know. We all know if I play with this now, I'll just run right into stitches, so I should probably just keep my eyes open and my head up and the menu's closed for the time being. I'll take a look at it later. Red Robin, that's awesome. Thanks for being here. I'm glad this time frame works. Turk-Teen, we're only about, well, we've been at it for about an hour. Yep. I'll go for at least another hour. I don't know how long I'll be able to go today. I explained earlier that I've been sick for the last few days. With the virus that my son had a week or so ago. So, I feel good while I'm sitting down, but, you know, occasionally I'll break into like a sweat or get the chills. So, I'm gonna be here for as long as I can today, because I'm having a good time. But I can't promise anything beyond like the next hour. Yeah, it's kind of that time, I guess. It's like summer illness time. Now that we're on summer vacation though, and my son isn't going to school every day, we're probably going to have a lot less illnesses coming into the house. Because kids are disgusting, and when you put a bunch of kids together with teachers that really don't give a shit if they're washing their hands and stuff, like, then they're just disgusting all the time, and they're sick all the time. So, now that they are not in school, it's probably going to be better from, like, an illness standpoint. Kimmy Rossi, thank you for being here. Thanks for stopping by the stream. I appreciate that. 6 is it Father's Day today? It's not Father's Day today, is it? Is Father's Day on a Friday? If it's Father's Day, I don't know if it is. Then I would be surprised. Ooh, that looks like a cool axe. I want to inspect you. What? Ooh, you got the Whirlwind Axe, the Warrior class. Now, how do you do that on Hardcore? Isn't that a really difficult, It turns out, maybe you don't do it on Hardcore. I love it. I wonder how many people are not passing their verification for one reason or another. You got a lot of blues. I'm bad. I'm bad. I get suspicious of people who have managed to get a lot of blues. Like a lot of blues. It's on Sunday 6s. Yes, that does sound like a better day for a holiday. I didn't know that though. I should, you know, because I am a dad, but I'm not really like a big holiday person to begin with. Oh, I have the world buff? Ooh. Increases critical chance of spells by 10%, melee and range by 5%, and grants 140 attack. Oh, okay. Okay. cool. I don't really know how we got that. I got it from Stormwind. Okay. Hey, that works out perfectly. The problem with this buff, and I've experienced this before, is that we are going to feel like an absolute badass while we have it, and then eventually it's going to be gone. And then we're going to feel super weak and sad. Yeah. I've had this buff before. It's a double-edged sword. You feel really good for a while, then it just drops you. A Nixie on a hardcore server seems quite impossible. Yeah, Red Robin, not everybody at 60 is on a hardcore character. If you do like /who 60, these people are not all hardcore characters. In fact, I would hazard a guess to say that most of them are not hardcore characters. Keep in mind that Bloodsail Buccaneers was a roleplay server long before it was ever a hardcore server. So a lot of the people who are 60 have just been 60. A lot more people who get 60 are not doing the hardcore challenge. And more people who hit 60 probably failed during the hardcore challenge, but then choose to keep leveling their character. You know, because they put 100 hours into it and they don't want to delete it. So when you're looking at level 60s doing content, keep in mind that they're not all like big streamers. People are not all out there doing hardcore raids. When you see like a hardcore raid, people are doing a hardcore raid for content. I don't think there's a lot of people who are not making content about it that are just doing hardcore raids in the dark and then actually deleting their characters at 60 when they're not creating content about it. Does that make sense? And I could be wrong. There could be thousands of people doing this in the dark, silently, every day, deleting their characters after being killed by Ragnaros, and not streaming it or recording it or doing any kind of content creation with it, but I don't think that there are many of those people, honestly. That's kind of one of the good things about Blizz doing an official hardcore server with baked-in rules is that when you see a level 60 there, you will know that they completed the challenge. Whereas, like I said, most 60s here are probably not successful hardcore characters. What do we want to work on? Let's maybe grind out the blood scalp ears over this way. And then we can also get some of the raptors. Yeah, there's still a lot of RPers here, definitely for sure. And you know, at this point a lot of those people have level 60 tunes. I'm going to start inspecting people that were near though and checking their hardcore tab. I'm really curious to see how many people are in a pending or failed state. What gets you into a pending state? That is what I'm curious about. Is that like you had something happen but you're appealing it through the add-on and then so you're considered pending? And can you just keep appealing the same thing and like keep yourself pending forever so that you're technically not failed? Tuning in every day just to see if Robert wears t-shirts. I have a t-shirt on under this cardigan, Danny, but it's kind of chilly in my basement always. That's where my office is at. It's in the basement. And it always gets chilly down here, so if I wear just a t-shirt, even if I wanted to do that, I would get cold at some point. So, I do wear a t-shirt. I have a t-shirt on under this sweater. I just need the sweater to stay warm. Yeah, if you haven't noticed by checking out the stream, I don't really care or pay much attention to what I wear. It's not really like a big concern for me. Alex says, if you're proving that you got disconnected or griefed, you can appeal. Also, you need to be level 20 to appeal. Yeah, because they can't just look at every single request. I wonder. Like I said, I'm gonna start checking people out, especially as we get higher level, and just see everyone's status. People also temporarily can disable the hardcore add-on in order to do things. Oh no. Yeah, we kind of learned that that can happen because a couple of streamers, I think, got called out on some of their naughty behavior a little while back. Some things that weren't on the level, and that's how I feel when I see some guy and supposedly he's level 40 and he's got every piece as a blue item. You didn't get all those by doing the dungeons one time. You didn't do all those, you know, from getting world drops. There's no way that you deck out a full blue set without people handing you gear, getting it on the auction house, or doing multiple dungeon runs. So, I definitely believe that there are some people out there who, for some reason, it's like people don't understand it. It's a self-imposed challenge. Why would you cheat at a self-imposed... Well, you would cheat, I guess, if you're some of these people that need the content. I guess that's maybe why you would cheat. So there are reasons to, but it seems stupid to me. Yeah, Questie, you just said that. Yeah, the same thing. Why cheat at a self-imposed challenge? But you know, you're a chungus. Oh no! I thought this guy was further down. Why is he down here? You're not gonna catch us because we're running fast. You can stay back there. Alex, does it immediately fail them though when they do those things? Because it should. Like if I kill a boss twice, that should just flip me to failed. That's not something that should be able to be looked at or anything, you know. And so I don't know if the add-on actually works that way. I wish that it would. Like if you get traded an item, you should be in a failed state. If you kill a boss twice, you should be in a failed state. If you disable your add-on, manually disable it, you should go to a fail state. Yeah. Bruh, I wasn't going after the elite, I was just too stupid to realize quickly enough that it wasn't elite, yeah. It will fail you, Alex? That's good. I think that things are going to be a lot better on an official server with baked-in rules. I think there will be a lot less cheating and a lot less bullshit. Like, a server where you literally can't trade people. So we don't have to worry about if somebody got traded some bags. We don't have to worry about if someone got traded some blues. Like, just disable it. You can't do it. There's no add-on to disable. There's no way to cheat. You do the challenge, and you fail at the challenge, you move on. Andrew used to say, but that doesn't make sense. If you don't cheat, you can make more content. No, it makes perfect sense, because if you come back on stream with a bunch of blues the next day, that gets people excited. They get hard for those blues. And then you're more powerful. So then you go out into the world and you kick the crap out of things, because you're wearing all blues now that you cheated to get. So not only are people like super excited for you, oh man, blues, great, oh, world drops you got last night while you were off stream, that's awesome, man. Not only that, but then you get the content of just going around kicking ass. And then you might get the content of like being the guy who somehow dies wearing all blues. Then that is content for you too. So no, there's definitely impetus to cheat. Absolutely. And keep in mind, some of these people cheat because like they are trying to succeed at the challenge, and they would not be able to if they did not cheat. So, and that's what's ensuring that they have content, is so that they can keep going. You know, when people are trading themselves bags and trading themselves gear and stuff like that, they're making the challenge easier so that they can keep going, so that they can keep making content, because the alternative is like us, you don't cheat and you die billions of times. And you just go again, you know. These trolls are okay, they're not too bad. Okay, that fire sucks. Yeah, the fire blast was kind of crappy. Yeah, that was not what you like to see. Oh god. Lael, I hope it doesn't get to be golf ball size. I hope in this case maybe they just over-exaggerated to keep people safe. And yeah, and on that note, stay safe. Alex, it reminds you of playing GTA with cheats as a kid. Yeah, I remember playing like the Warcraft. I don't know if it was Warcraft 1 or 2 on the PlayStation 1, but my friend would like looked up all the cheats at one of the strategy guides. You know, you'd go to like the Funko Land or the GameStop, as it became called later, and you like leaf through the strategy guides. You write some codes down really quick. He would do that, and then he would just like cheat. Like, I think the cheat code for a free gold in that game was greed is good. I think I still remember, like, what you typed in to get, like, a bunch of gold in like, Warcraft 1 or 2 on the PlayStation. But yeah, he would just cheat, and it's like, okay. That's cool. You got a lot of gold. Like, you're not really playing the game, but fine. You know, at that time we were, like, 12 or 13, so... I don't really want to step in here. These guys are all casters right now. This would be such a bad move. Let's just not. Let's just not do that, and also, let's not go back towards the elite Crocolisk either. The Game Shark and the Game Genie. Yes, I had forgotten entirely about those things. Oh man, they had Game Genies and Game Sharks all the way up through like PlayStation 1, didn't they? Was there like a Game Shark for the PS2? Oh man, and they would give warnings, like they could like literally damage your system. It, like, I remember getting like corrupted save files would happen when you try to use Game Sharks and Game Genies. You just corrupt your 100-hour Final Fantasy VIII save because you wanted to get your GFs maxed out. Oh man, yeah. The good old days. when you cheated alone in private with your friends and not out on the internet in front of everybody while trying to act like you didn't cheat, you know? You just cheated together and you just gloried in the cheats, and that was it. But we were kids then, so it makes absolute sense. We could go after some of the raptors over to the east. That could be something we could actually progress a quest. Bon Band, thanks for being here. I appreciate that. I am really enjoying the streaming, yeah. It's been very nice to be able to hang out with you guys. Chat has kept me alive many, many times. I've learned a lot of things that I didn't know even after 20 years of playing the game. So it's been a real blast. I'm really grateful to be able to be here and to do this most days. A posture check? Yeah, posture check. I think we're good. I'm about as good as I can be right now. Posture check, and then hydrate also. Holly, hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. Robert, I don't know what type of tea this is. My wife brought it to me. She was listening to the stream when I was talking about being out of coffee and how I should probably drink tea, and she made me some tea. And it doesn't taste like green tea, so it might just be like a dark tea with some honey in it. And I think it's actually helping my throat a little bit, so that was super awesome of her. But it could be anything. It doesn't taste like green tea. That's all I can say. It's the best type of tea because it was brought to me with love, so. These guys are still a little bit beefy, yeah. They hit pretty hard, they have quite a bit of HP. They are still pretty tough. Even now that we've leveled up a couple times since the last time we tried them. We're getting meat. Oh no, we're not getting meat. We're just killing them. It's only a kill quest, Robert. We don't need their meat. We don't need the meat. I try to keep thinking about like where else we could quest, but I really don't think we open anything else up until like level 40. At level 42 we could think about going into Tannerus. I need to check out the levels of the quest in Feralis. Those might be like mid to late 40s. Tweety Bird, thanks for being here. I appreciate that. Amin, I appreciate that. No, I used to be a classroom facilitator and training developer, so I learned how to like use my voice and project my voice by teaching classrooms and having to like shout through classrooms of people, because you have to like literally send your voice all the way through the room. And yeah, nope, that's it. I can't sing at all. You would not want to hear me sing. That would make your ears bleed. Absolutely. I don't have any concept of like musical tone or pitch. Jason, you started up a non-hardcore Pally? That's awesome, man. Paladin is a really fun class. It's relaxing, it's enjoyable, it's not super stressful to play, you don't have to pound a bunch of buttons. I really like it. I'm also a big fan of the Rogue, though, too, for like mainly relying on auto attack, especially early on. I don't mind stuff that like relies a lot on the white swing. Lael, your power went out? Oh man, that sucks, man. If you got somewhere like safe to be, like a hallway or a basement, I'd recommend that. So one of the things I loved about living in downtown Kansas City is that like most of the power lines and stuff were all underground. So with them being underground, and same thing with the fiber lines, like you could have the worst storm outside ever with like terrible winds and you were not going to lose power or internet because all the lines were buried. And that was really great. And then here in Michigan, we've been back here for 3 years. We've lost power at least once every year. And it's usually when it's either really cold or really hot. It's never when it's like a beautiful springtime or a beautiful autumn time. It's like it's usually, unfortunately, when we lose power, it's either horribly hot or horribly cold. I am not going to keep running at this elite. We're gonna not do. Let's put a little marker on him. That could be the way to go. Now I will see the skull and I will not just automatically run to pull him. So your warrior died at 18. Man, my last warrior died at 19. What killed you? I got killed by pillagers in Westfall. The Pally is gonna be easier. It's been a lot easier for me. You have a lot of buttons to keep yourself alive, even to things like pillagers. Oh, we're totally done with this kill quest anyhow. We could go turn it in, that's not going to get us a lot. Let's just keep trying to farm these ears carefully. Let's check out inside here, maybe we can pull a couple warriors out. The Naga in the Darkshore Cave. Oh, yeah, I think I know the Darkshore Cave you're talking about. There are reasons why I will never put a hardcore character through Teldrassil or Darkshore. Because they are both kind of miserable areas to level in when it comes to surviving. I find that when you're not on hardcore, it's like, it's fine. But when you're on hardcore, it's like, you can't get ahead of the leveling curve there, so everything is always a challenge, and some of the places that you have to go are really, really dangerous, and the cave is one of them. I don't think I could pull any of these guys out. I think that would just be a horrible, horrible mistake. We are kind of stuck with picking them off on the outside. Jason, I had a night elf die there. Did we die there on one of the really old hardcore runs I did? I remember I did some like hardcore runs back during like actual vanilla classic or like BC classic. And I do remember that cave because I remember people warning me about the cave, and I think like if I wasn't doing a hardcore run, why would people have cared about the cave? Yeah, if it's that cave, I think I definitely could have died in it. It was pre-Bloodsail Buccaneers. Yeah, I remember those playthroughs. None of those playthroughs got very far. They were still fun. We did the self-imposed rules where we had to craft our own gear, stuff like that. Those were a fun time during a time when there wasn't really a lot else I wanted to do. Alex, that cave is what got you to do the swim? Yeah, you have to be able to do the swim or the run if you want to do a Night Elf in hardcore. It's so unfair because like there's no other race that has it so bad. Not on the Horde side, not on the Alliance side. There's no other race that's just in such a terrible position, not being able to zone hop easily. Like, and it's like they, you know, the game wasn't made for hardcore, so that was never a design problem they had to address. It was fine. It only becomes unbalanced when you approach it from like a hardcore perspective. The only equivalents on the Horde side would be like Tauren, but that run from Taraho is not super dangerous to get up to Crossroads and into Durotar because you can stay on the road. And then, you know, the Forsaken, they are right next to, you know, you got the Zeppelin Tower that gets you right where you want to be in Durotar. So like Horde side has it so easy. Horde side has it so easy no matter what race you want to play. You can zone hop, there's not a dangerous run you'd have to do. You had the quest to get the water form too. I don't think that we ever got the water form on our Tauren Druid. We have a buddy, which might make some of this approachable. Speaking of Night Elves, well, that wasn't very smart of us. Let's come over here and focus on this one. I was kind of hoping she'd come in and help us out a little bit. Not a super safe thing to count on, but... Johnny Hoover, you got 3 bags to drop by level 4 on your... Dude, that's a keeper. I think that 3 might have been the most I ever got to drop, but not by level 4. It would have been like by level 15 we'd gotten 3 bags to drop. That's an amazing start. Be very careful. You just used up a bunch of luck and you didn't realize it. That's what you have to consider. Is like you just used up a lot of luck inadvertently that you didn't really have control over, and now you got to be careful. It's the worst when a character doesn't get any bags. On this guy, I stayed in the vineyard and I fought the Defias until a bag dropped, because we needed bags. But I don't think we got very many drops on this character. We've definitely had characters in the past that have gotten more. I probably need to spend some time fighting some of the wildlife nearby while we're waiting for respawns, just to keep the kill rate up. I feel like I'm being pretty inefficient with my time, actually. We could be getting a lot more combat XP than what I'm currently doing. Gina, you got no bags to drop? Yeah, it's kind of the worst. It always gave me a bad feeling about a character when we leave the starting area and like no bags to drop. It's like, ew, that's kind of gross. It almost makes me want to reroll, but like I can't reroll just because some bags didn't drop. But it does feel particularly unlucky. But all that should mean is like if you didn't use that luck up, then you should have access to that luck at some other point in time. I have to believe that. Alleycat asks, how many levels have we gotten since we started streaming with this character? That's a good question. I don't know. We were in Red Ridge, and we were just going into Red Ridge, so we might have been like level 20 something when we started streaming. Yeah, it was a while ago. I feel like I've played the character more also since we've been streaming it, since it hasn't been a pre-recorded series. I feel like I have put more time into the character, which is awesome. I'd say we probably gained at least 10 levels since then, maybe more. Alex, you got the multicolored bags? I like it when my bags are pretty. Yeah, the bags we have right now are okay. What I would really love is like a red bag to kind of like set the rest of it up. Too much brown here at the end. I'd really like to get a red bag. We are getting some help here from a troll. That's nice of them. Unfortunately, I can't give them a buff or anything, so I can't repay the favor. It does suck when you have to sell, like, replace the nice colored ones with the brown 8-slot or 10-slot bags. It's always a tough choice. Obviously, you have to do it at the same time, then it looks super boring down here. Kaneu asked, what is the next zone that you're going to level in? I am not sure. We're working between a few zones right now that we're kind of just bouncing around between. We're in Stranglethorn for the next little bit. That's really the only place right now that we have a lot of quests that are at our level and actually doable. 1,000 Needles, this quest we can't do. That's an elite quest. We might as well get rid of that. These are completed. This takes us to the Badlands. That's a breadcrumb. This takes us to Ratchet. We can do that anytime. Yeah, it's Stranglethorn right now. We have some stuff we could do in Desolus. Oh, no, we don't. This takes us to Swamp of Sorrows. Yeah, we don't have an upcoming hub until, like, Tannerus. Once we hit level 40, we can go to Tannerus, and that'll probably be, like, the next new area that we go into that we haven't quested in yet. Tannerus, Feralus, I really can't think of any other place. We did a little bit in Alterac. And the Hinterlands is like level 50s. I'm starting to feel the press of the level 30s and 40s where you start to feel like you're running out of zones to level in at this level. We are definitely starting to feel some of that. So it's going to mean that we have to do more grinding, kind of like what we're doing right now. It's a long way to 40, absolutely. Yep, you're totally right. It is a long way. We're averaging about 5 hours per level right now, 4 to 5 hours per level, so it's a long way. Alex, you think I can do some stuff in the Badlands soon? Maybe we should take a look at the map and see what level some of the intro quests are. I feel like there aren't a lot of quests to do in the Badlands. I feel like there aren't a lot. Badlands. Okay. A couple of those are elite quests. We can't do the Buzzard Wings yet. A Sign of Hope. Find Prospector Rayadal. Maybe he's over in the Ulduar ruins. Mirages, a dwarf and his tools. Yeah, there's just not a lot. There's not a lot to do here. 10 small stone shards. That could be a quest that we grind for. There's just not a lot to do there. I mean, gosh, that's not a lot of quest. We could hit up Swamp of Sorrows, you know, before that maybe, and do these two. Oh, excuse me. Like I said, I am under the weather today, so. I really wish they would like take the Azara zone and just like wipe it and refit it with quests that are good for like the level 30 to 40 range. That would be super cool. Just drop in a bunch of level 30 to 40 quests and you know, give us somewhere else to spend our time. Alex, yeah, that's what I've always thought. I always thought that, like, if you wanted to follow the Night Elf path, you should be able to go from Teldrassil to Darkshore to Ashenvale to Azara. And then you can go wherever else after that. You hit level 30, 40s, you go to Stranglethorn like everybody does. But yeah, having some questing in Azara would help out Horde and Alliance players. Just with the gap of quests between levels 30 and 40. Actually, you know, the gap of quests starts at level 30, and even though there are some places like Tannerus and Feralus where there are like questing hubs, the amount of experience you get from those places does not get you very far. It doesn't get you as far as you would want it to. Are there still quests to do in South Shore, Jason? We'll have a look in a second. I don't think that there's too much we can do. Yeah, South Shore is not really a big questing hub, it turns out. The Horde, they get to spend a lot of time in Hillsbrad Foothills, but on the Alliance side, you really don't. It's actually kind of a shame. Theramore should start opening up at like level 38. There might be a couple of things we could do now. That would be a nice like change of scenery. But I know there's like, in general, there's not a lot of stuff that we can do in Dustwallow in Classic Era. They call him Smiling Jim, okay? Hungry, 8 Myrefin heads. Yeah. Yeah, we can do some of this stuff. There's not a lot. Now the High Perch Venom, that's level 30, and I just feel like that's going to send us somewhere else to get that stuff. I don't think there are any level 30 mobs anywhere in the marsh. But I wouldn't mind doing that. That could be fun. Now, how would we get there? Right now, we're actually set at Nigel's Point. You think we should wait? The quests in there are lower level than the quests we're working on here, just about. 1,000 Needles we should be basically done with. We did a bunch of stuff in the Shimmering Flats already. So... Okay, that's... Crystal Hides, Crystal Hides. Oh, okay, we're still holding on to the one kill quest with the Crystal Hides? Goblin sponsorship. Yeah, we're basically done there. We have whatever this quest is. Oh, okay. 1,000 Needles is where the High Perch... Yeah, High Perch. Yeah. I think I know where you're talking about. Like, back in this area, right? Yeah. Okay. So, if I wanted to go to Dustwallow, what would be like the easiest way to get there? If I wanted to check that out. We're set to Nigel's Point. We could hearth to Nigel's Point. We could fly to Ratchet, get that turned in, then we can make the run. I think we will do that soon. Let's do a couple things. Let's focus on getting the rest of our ears. If we can get the rest of the ears, we get this turned in. I wouldn't mind going and checking out Dustwallow. We could do the boat, but do you think it might, since we have the Hearthstone set, do you think maybe we would do this? I think I want to do this so that we can turn in that quest in Ratchet. But yeah, either way we can get there a couple of different ways. I think if we do the go to Ratchet on the flight point, then we could just make the run down. Maybe we'd be able to stop at the Shady Rest Inn. I didn't see a quest at the Shady Rest Inn, so I don't know if maybe that stuff is not, you don't pick it up from there, or maybe it wasn't in Classic Era. Canayo, you ask, have I ran across any griefers on this character? Not only have I not encountered any griefers on this character, we've played every single class already into like almost level 20s and gotten them all killed. So we've done a lot of hardcore, and I've never seen any griefing at all. I've never had any griefing happen to me. I've never seen anything that looked like griefing going on around me. And yeah, no, I haven't seen it. And I know that it happens to people. But it has never happened to me. And I don't think it's like hyper prevalent. Also keep in mind, like, I play during the middle of the day. And I think griefing might be people's like second job that they do after their main job. So I think maybe if there's a lot of griefers, they probably get out in the PM. Because I haven't seen any. Johnny Smiling Jim starts the Shady Rest Inn quest. Okay, oh no. We were so low. That was scary. I need to pay more attention. Really lucky about the red flare on the screen there. How'd you guys like that one? There we go. That's our excitement for the day. And with that little bit of excitement, we're gonna peel out. Let's go get the Raptor quest turned in. We are seeing some big crits. That was two 300 white swing crits. That's pretty good. I don't mind that. We are not going to pull that. Nope. Jason, you have PTSD about Stranglethorn? Oh, I love Stranglethorn. It's one of my favorite zones. Now, you do spend a lot of time in Stranglethorn. I try to break it up by leaving often and coming back. Because you do spend a bulk of your time here between like level 30 and 40. Oh, it's because of the PvP element of it. It's a gank fest. That's horrible. Jackie Joe, thank you for the membership. Welcome. That's awesome. Thanks for being here. Tim, that's a good point. This would feel really good to be a skinner. Yep. Yeah, I kind of miss skinning. I do think we're going to stick with herbalism alchemy for our shaman though. I've kind of on this character has helped me like get rid of the impulse to skin because a lot of our characters have been skinners, like historically. So it was hard originally to like tell myself like, oh, you don't skin, but I've kind of gotten used to it now. It used to be every time I killed something and couldn't skin it, it would like trigger me. I'd feel like we were leaving money and resources on the ground. But I kind of started to get over it recently. Shinomaru, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Anita, we only have mining right now. The professions are going nowhere. Professions, we dropped blacksmithing because it was a huge like weight off of my mind. I didn't have to worry about holding on to the resources. I didn't have to worry about going back and farming up copper and rough stones. We still needed copper and rough stones, and we were just way outside of the area where we were going to be getting a lot of that.
What's on your mind?
And I decided that I wasn't liking it, and I just dropped it. Because if you're not digging something, there's no reason to keep doing it. So yeah, we're still mining stuff to like sell the ore, but we are not doing blacksmithing, and I didn't bother picking up anything else because I have no desire to work on any other profession on this character.
Be careful.
In the future, we're going to do herbalism alchemy. I enjoy herbalism alchemy. I've done it before, and I think it's going to benefit future hardcore characters a lot, and it's going to be something that's a little bit easier to level up as we go. Where mining just required so many resources that without the auction house, it's really hard to want to keep up with it. PV, greetings, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, but Tweety Bird, I don't need the money, man. I got 30 gold. There's nothing to spend it on in hardcore because we don't have an auction house, and I'm not going to need mount money because I'm a paladin. So, like, on any other character, it would have made a lot of sense just to grab skinning and go back and level it up. For this guy, it didn't really make sense to do it, so I didn't. Yep. I would really like to get the last 2 blood scalp ears. I know we've had a couple of risky moments with these guys. And I do want to get out of the jungle, but I would love to finish this one first. Yeah, Alex, and you put a lot of work into your mining and blacksmithing. It seemed like you put a lot more time into it than I did. And yeah, I just kind of learned that I just won't be doing the production professions in hardcore anymore. I'm gonna stick to herbalism alchemy, or maybe just like herbalism skinning just to sell the stuff. But I'm not gonna do any big production professions like leatherworking or blacksmithing or even tailoring. It gets pretty hard to do without the auction house. The time like that I successfully leveled up tailoring on the mage was like in Wrath, and it was like obviously I bought a lot of the materials on the auction house. And if not for that, we would have had to spend like hours and hours farming linen, farming wool, etc. And sometimes that's okay. I feel like if you farm it when you're at the level for it, and you're getting kill experience, then it's worthwhile. But if you kind of let yourself get out of like level range and you have to go back later to farm stuff, it's not as worthwhile. Oh, you won't have access to certain... yeah, right. It's just a pain. Production professions are a pain on hardcore, and one of the biggest things is that you can't use the auction house, and there's just restrictions that kind of keep you bogged down. Would not recommend, yeah. I would not recommend blacksmithing. I would not recommend any production professions. I'd recommend herbalism, alchemy, or just gathering stuff to sell it for gold. Yeah, Tweety Bird mining's not the problem. It's blacksmithing that was the problem. Just mining out areas naturally as we level and as we quest and as we grind. It wasn't enough copper or rough stones to like get me going without me having to go back to those areas when I was way out level for the enemies. Like, I don't mind doing a little bit of grinding, but I want to be getting kill experience while I'm doing it, and I just decided that it wasn't going to be for me. There are probably people out there who like love doing the production professions, who want to go in those old areas and just stay there and grind a bunch of materials, and that's what they like to do. And for them, it probably works out great. You know, they're probably able to make some really good gear. I just had to acknowledge that I was not going to do that. I was not going to go back and farm, and I had to realize that if I did go back and farm, I was not going to be enjoying my time. So, that's all. It's just a me thing, yeah. Just my personal opinion and my way of feeling about it. We don't have any water, so it's like, yeah, we need 2 more items. It's a low drop rate. We're gonna be back here, you know. We're gonna be back in Stranglethorn lots and lots of times. So, yeah, let's hearth out. Let's get some water. Let's empty our bags, and let's jump on a flight over to Ratchet if we can do that. Oh, we do have these skeleton keys. I forgot we made these. I mean, I guess I can hold on to them. Allows the opening of simple locks. Okay, so it can only open a simple lock. Might be worth holding on to anyway. I kind of wish they'd go into our keyring and not, like, in our bags, but it's fine. Alright, there we go.
May the stars guide you.
I see it now. Requires blacksmithing. Yes. It does say that in red text that I just completely ignored. Yep. Yep.
How are you?
In that case, that makes it easy. It's another bag slot for us.
See you later.
I hope that this is connected to Ratchet. I just kind of assumed that it would be, like a direct flight.
Hello.
This is not a direct flight, okay? That's not the kind of direct that you really want on a flight.
Till next week.
but we'll do it. The weird thing is, Leatrix does not know how long this flight is going to take. That shouldn't worry me as much as it does, I guess, but it does kind of worry me. We're strapped in, guys, for a flight of indeterminate length. And, yeah, we'll see how this goes. It's kind of out of our way. Stupidest flight path imaginable, yeah. I feel like them going back and adding some quality of life stuff, like, probably a lot of people would not even notice. Had this been a direct flight, none of you guys would have been like, hey, that wasn't a direct flight in vanilla. Like, nobody would know. I wouldn't know, you guys wouldn't know or care. We would have just had a direct flight. And it's about the terrain, I guess. Like, some terrain they made so that it can be flown over, some terrain is not finished and cannot be flown over. So for them to make more direct flight paths, they might have to go in and patch up, like, parts of the world that you would fly over on the revised flight path, and they are not going to do that work. As nice as it would be to get, like, some more direct flight paths and stuff that actually made sense. I am out of the nectar, and I meant to buy it. I'm like, I said, let's buy some water and empty our bags, and I did one of those two things. And my brain checked both boxes. It said done and done, and so we only did the one thing, and that's pretty typical for me. Thank you for the reminder. I'll get some when we land, and I won't mentally check that off the list now. We'll actually pick some up in Ratchet. Yeah, you'd think that Leatrix would still be able to figure out the time. I mean, the time should be the same. It should know the time, and it doesn't, so we have broken the add-on. Gizmosaurus, you ask, am I going to stream the Shaman come HC Fresh Start? Yeah, absolutely. The Shaman will only ever be live on stream. Nothing is going to happen on the Shaman that happens off stream. There will never be a moment that I log into him. And I'm going to be starting each day at the character select screen. Yeah, there's not going to be any time I log into him. I'm not going to move him, travel with him, fish with him, profession with him, kill mobs with him. He's not going to do anything off the stream. We're going to be able to look at our XP each day and see that we're on the level. Because too many stupid shenanigans have happened with people in hardcore. And yeah, we're going to keep it all on stream. Absolutely. The only reason I'm streaming here today is, like, the original story of me streaming right now is I just went on one day to kind of test my setup to make sure OBS was connected to my YouTube and that everything worked. And when I went out for my test, a bunch of you guys jumped into the chat and we started to hang out. My plan was just to check and make sure it worked so that when official hardcore came out, we could stream then. So I had been telling myself, like, oh, we're going to put this off, we'll stream later. And then, yeah, a bunch of you guys showed up, we chatted, we started pushing the buttons and playing the game, and I haven't looked back ever since. So that's that. Yeah, the episodes end up technically being longer. Yep. That's true. YouTube treats the recorded series way differently than it treats the streams anyway. It's like, the things that the YouTube algorithm does to channels when you, like, switch the way you do things suddenly is pretty interesting, yeah. Right now, YouTube does not know what to do with me. Yeah, I went from only recorded content to streaming 3 or 4 hours most days, so the YouTube algorithm is, like, thoroughly confused. And it's funny because, like, you get little creator tips and they're always like, try something new, try a new format, it can help your channel. And then a lot of times you try a new thing or a new format and it just kind of, like, it kind of swamps the algorithm and, like, tanks your metrics for a while, and, like, you have to build things back up if you keep going that route. But I do find it funny how often, like, the YouTube creator help will urge you to do different things, and then when you do a different thing, the algorithm punishes the shit out of you. It's really interesting to me. This is the craziest way to get the ratchet ever. Oh man. I guess it's gotta be a straight shot from here, right? Yeah, an unknown amount of time later, even Leatrix Plus, it didn't want to tell us because it probably didn't want us to get like super depressed about how long it was actually going to take. Because yeah, it's a long one, absolutely. It'll be good to finally get this Ratchet quest turned, and we've been hanging on to that quest for a long time, so. Auntie, you got some pizza? That's awesome, man. I'm starting to get hungry too. You know, my appetite hasn't been very good since I've been sick. But hunger is slowly creeping upon me. It put us into an endless flying loop. Yeah, I wonder how long it would take me to realize that if that were the case. Probably by like the third time we'd been through Ashenvale, I'd figure it out. Oh, and one of the most beautiful zones in the game. The place we'll never get to quest. Lovely Ajara. We are frighteningly close to Orgrimmar. I don't like being an Alliance character and even flying this close. It just seems like it would be a bad idea, like they could shoot us out of the air. There is a guard out there. Oh. Yikes. Yeah, it's absolutely been a nice little scenic route, hasn't it? Absolutely. Rob, we'll get there when we get there, and if you keep asking, man, we're gonna turn this car around and go back home. Mm-hmm. We will get there when we get there. Whoa, Leatrix Plus, what did we do to you? Oh, look at that. It's telling us how long it took. It took 555 seconds. What are the odds of that? If any of you guys play lottery, and I advise that you do not, but if you do and you're hopelessly addicted to it, go play 555 in like the daily 3. Because what are the chances that it took us 555 seconds? Seems highly unlikely. Operation High Jump, I don't really listen to any podcasts these days. No, sometimes I watch some YouTube videos, you know, I'll watch like a Bellular video, or I'll watch some Taliesin, I'll listen to Asmongold, but as far as like podcasts and stuff, Don't really have time, don't really have much interest. When I'm not doing this, I like to be outside with my dogs, with my boy, shooting hoops, throwing the frisbee to the dogs, going on walks with the family.
Time is money,
I'm reading the
friend.
Cosmere books, so I'm just about to finish the second Stormlight book, and it's absolutely amazing. Besides that, I'll watch my wife play some single-player games when she's feeling the urge. And yeah, that's kind of how I spend my time. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. So sad, you asked, what do I do for a living? If you mean how do I make any money at all in this cesspool world, you're looking at how I make the money that I do make. Yep, this is it for me. I have an amazing wife that loves her job. She's really good at it. And I can do this because I'm really, really lucky. And so when people ask that question, what they're really trying to ask is like, well, how much money do you make doing this? How much money could you possibly make? Not a lot. Yeah. I used to be a corporate training developer, so for half of the year I wrote training materials. I would write the course, and then the other half of the year I would go teach it. And I make about half now of what I made doing that job. So that's really the only way I can really answer the full question implied there is to say I make about half as much money now as I made in the profession that I left that I had started to hate. Yeah, so now I make half as much money, but I get to do what I love. And yeah, that's it. Okay, where am I going? I'm not going down that way. That's for sure. Yeah. And I had the channel going when I still had a normal job. You know, the channel was going for years before I decided that I was not going to continue to be a training developer. That road was not going to continue on. It's not work, Tweety Bird. Yeah, I don't like the... I have a bad reaction to what do you do for a living. I have a bad... And it's like, it's no one's fault because that's how we're trained to interact with each other. But I always have a really negative reaction to the question. Because like, what do you mean, what do I do? I live. I just try to live. You're trying to ask, how do I make my money? That's a different question. You know, what do you do for a living? I do all kinds of things. I read books, I go on walks, I shoot basketball, I throw frisbees, you know... I laugh and cry. Like, I do lots of things in my living. But how I make my money, that's a different question. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm okay being transparent about it, but it's like, it will always probably be a question that, like, incites some kind of rant. From me. Yeah, and you know, I could have kept doing what I was doing. I could have taken my skills and I could have went to a different corporation and I could have taught people how to do their jobs, and it was really fulfilling when I did it. But the job had changed a lot. The requirements of the job were changing. I was doing more and more travel around the country. I had to stop raiding with my guild. My son was really young then and I wasn't spending as much time with him during parts of the year. And it just got to a place where I wasn't happy with the job anymore. And then when it came time to think about what do you want to do next, it was around the time that like COVID happened. And at that time, you know, with the kid at home, it made sense for one of us to be at home. And then suddenly everyone was working from home. And then I just kept focusing on the channel. And I kept trying to grow the channel. And it finally got to a point where I could just do that. They can, Auntie. My corporation did not suck the soul out of me. It provided me great opportunities and it enabled me to learn the skills I needed to become the person that I am today. It was a job that let me use my writing skills when I thought I was never going to be able to use my writing skills for a job. And so, you know, the job I had for a time was amazing. It was just what I needed in the point in my life when I needed it most. But after 8 years, it started to become something different. And I was different too. I had changed. And so, yeah, I did not choose to pursue that career, and I was lucky enough to be in a place and with a partner that allowed me to do what I wanted to do and to pursue what I love. Not everyone is that lucky. Not everyone gets to do that. So I'm really grateful. I'll say this, I mean, you guys, like, you know, you say, oh, you know, corporations are bad. Sure, obviously, like, at the same time, what has your government done for you recently? You know? People say, like, how miserable corporations are. Yeah, that's fine, like, corporations suck. They're absolutely designed to make the most money they can while spending the least money. But sometimes you get into a corp that like actually treats their employees well, and for me, H&R Block was that. H&R Block, in my position at least for the company, I never felt like I was mistreated. It was just the end of my time with that career, was all. Brother Jerry, every time I watch your live stream, someone asks that. Yeah, and it's like people are curious, you know. What people really want to know, it's like they see me doing this all day. They wonder, how can you possibly do this so much and work a normal job? And they're just curious. Yeah, and like, I always take it the way that I take it. But I try to take it with a grain of salt and just understand that it's like probably just curiosity. And like, it's hard though, because people ask you, well, how much money is it? And it's like, is it a lot of money? Is it a little money? And my answer is like, a lot or little is going to be different depending on how much money you have. You know, what is a lot for one person is very little for someone else, and vice versa. Operation Crazy Story, man. Sounds made up, probably is real. Crazy story. Yeah, Tweety Bird, if I didn't love doing this, I wouldn't be here. Yeah, absolutely. You should never do something that you don't have some love for. Now, a lot of times in life, you're just stuck in a position where you have to do what you have to do. But if you are in that spot where like you have a shit job and you can't just walk away from it, you should be making steps to get yourself away from it. And if you're not making steps, then you're kind of just making yourself miserable. And you're perpetuating a situation where it's not going to change. Sometimes you can't just leave a job that you hate, but you can definitely take steps. You can go refresh your resume. You can go on LinkedIn. You could talk to some friends, maybe in different areas of work. But there's always stuff you can do that if you're actually super miserable with your job, you can get another job. You really can. Sometimes it seems daunting, especially the longer that you've been in a place. But I think a lot of people fall into the trap of like, well, this is just what I do. You're not supposed to like your job, my daddy said. Okay, yeah. Well, your daddy was probably a miserable prick, so that makes sense. That was a little bit of projecting, sorry about that. Vince, I try not to read any jealousy into it, you know? I mean, you can see me, you see my background, you see where I'm at. I'm not Asmongold, I'm not Co-Carnage, I don't have millions of dollars, I'm not rich. I drive a Ford EcoSport. You know what I mean? I'm just a person. Yeah, I'm just a person. I haven't made it just because you've seen me, you know? I'm just a guy. So I try not to think that there's could really be any jealousy in it. See, Joe, we're basically the same person. Right, exactly. Yep. Except you like Wrath a lot and I don't. I guess that would be the big difference, yeah. It shouldn't, like, that's the thing is, like, you can't have the dream of, like, I want to play video games for a living. If you want to play video games because you love them, do that. If you want to make content because you love making content, do that. If you want to stream because you love hanging out with people and playing video games, then do that. Do it because you love it. The way you're going to set yourself up to fail is if you say, I want to play video games for a living. Because a living is variable and different, and you are not going to make a living. Not for a long time, if ever, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't pursue stuff that you love. So yeah. But I guess it is easy to see lots of people doing stuff like this and to think like, hey, why can't I do that? Well, you probably could do it. You probably absolutely could do it. But sometimes there are just advantages. I got really lucky with the situation I was in. And I'm lucky to have an awesome partner who supports the things that I love. And not everybody has that or is in that spot, so. But again, I started the channel long before I left my career. I think it was 2 years that I had the channel going. I think it was the 2 years right before and leading up to Classic launch, actually. If my job is doing QA for video games, I'd quit my job and find a better job. Not doing QA for video games. Because that sounds like a miserable job. It sounds like a miserable job, and it was never a way for people to get into the industry. It would be very rare, and there aren't big QA departments like that anymore, really, for game companies like there used to be. But yeah, it was never really a way to get into the industry. It was just a miserable job, and it gave people the hope, it gave people the dream of like getting into the industry, but it was never a way, you know. Joe, I don't hate Wrath. I was just kind of teasing you there a little bit. I don't hate Wrath, I just have zero interest in playing it. I've explained before, it's a done game to me. I did all the content back when it first came out, when I was in my 20s then, so I have all my memories of that. I wasn't like an 8-year-old or something. So I have all my memories of Wrath from when I played it with my awesome guild originally. And what I realized was that I have zero interest in the end game of it, because like I said, did it all before, farmed all the gear, not interested in seeing the content 100 more times. And that was it. Now, if we lived in an imaginary universe where they were going to put new content into Wrath of the Lich King, new zones, new dungeons, new raids, and then I'd probably like it a lot. But I've seen everything that there's ever going to be to see. I've killed every boss that there's ever going to be to kill. And I've gotten all the gear I wanted. But I don't hate it, not at all. I'm just not interested in it right now. Swellmate, am I going to do any raiding or dungeons at 60? Probably not on this character. Listen, if we get to 60 by late August or early September or whenever the hardcore servers come out, I'll be happy with that. I don't really have any big aspirations to do the end game, you know. Maybe on the official hardcore servers when there's like some baked-in rules, and we'll know if your characters are going to be immortal at 60 or if they're going to be hardcore at 60, or is there going to be a toggle that you can pick. Once we know that stuff, then I'll know a little bit more about whether or not I'm going to do dungeons or raids on the official hardcore server. But on Bloodsail Buccaneers, I'm probably not going to do anything. My goal is to get a character to 60. I am doing the hardcore challenge, yeah. And that is to get the character to 60 without dying. And speaking of not dying, I'm about to run through this marsh. And I think it's going to be important to try to stick to the roads. And I don't really know how high level the enemies get here, so we're gonna pick up this quest here. We do this over in this area, so it would be good to grab before we head out that way. That being said, we're gonna have to head all the way back to the Shady Rest Inn eventually anyway. No, I'm not going the wrong way because I need to get this quest. and then once I get this quest, then we'll analyze like what way we need to go. I get that like a horde town is up here. Yeah, Brackenwall Village is this way. So, like, I'm not going to run to the village, but I am going to grab this quest, absolutely. And then we'll figure out a route to get, like, somewhere safe to get where we need to go. But for now, I need to come up here. There's probably like 7 elite dragons here that I don't know about. Yeah, if there are dragons, they're going to be down here in the southern part, though. That's where I think the red dragons were, at least when I quested here in BC in Wrath of the Lich King. The dragons were down here. Yeah, we're just going to like head this way and just hope that that's going to be okay. I see some level 38 mobs. That doesn't really make me super happy. Maybe we try to head to this road. Oh, having our camera out here is going to be a huge hassle because every time our camera is zoomed out, we're going to be hitting trees and hitting low-hanging foliage. That's fun. Joe, I think in Wrath, Sunken Temple is still in Swamp of Sorrows, right? Are we talking about Swamp of Sorrows? Monica asks when the official hardcore server comes, will we be able to transfer our old hardcore characters? No, it's going to be a fresh start. They're calling it, they've called it Hardcore Fresh. So they've already set the tone for that. When they officially announced it, like, what was like a month ago now, we've heard no news since. They called it Official Blizzard Hardcore Fresh. Which, you know, implies a fresh start for everybody. So no character transfers or anything like that. I am so glad these people are on my faction. That was really lucky. I'm noticing that we're full on quests, so I'm gonna drop a couple here. Let's drop some of these ones that are orange and red. We can definitely drop the 40 plus elite quest. And that should be okay. 16 out of 20 is not perfect, but it's better than 19 out of 20. I'm not gonna do this. It's an escort quest. I don't know it that well. I think I'm going to stop by the swamp and grab these, though I'm not going to do them right now. We're going to run into town first before we really decide what we're going to do. Natasha, the last time you saw the character, we were level 11. Yeah, we've come a long way. You know, since we've been streaming this character, I've played a lot more each day, I feel like. So we've made a lot of progress. And happily, you know, we've had a lot of close calls, but we're still alive. Joe, of course I'd be higher level if I did the dungeons, man. You know that. You know how experience gains works. If I had done the dungeons, we would have done some dungeon quests. Yeah, of course. For sure. Yeah, we would have been a higher level if we were alive. Because a lot of times in dungeons, you die. Especially in Classic Era. Not so much in Wrath, not so much in other versions of the game when you're talking about like the leveling 5-mans. But leveling 5-mans in Classic Era are really hard. And yeah, so if we were still alive, yes, we'd be like, maybe we'd be like 3 levels higher. It'd be amazing, but I don't know if we'd be alive. And we're never gonna find out, so.
Hey there.
Yep.
See you around.
Wasn't there like another guy here? There's not another guy here. Maybe that gets added later. We do have loose dirt. Sifting through the loose dirt, the severed hand of an orc is found, and clutched in the hand is a bone-carved tube. And in the tube is a dirt-stained parchment, and on the dirt-stained parchment is... Oh, no, it's written in Orcish. It looks important. Okay. He got evicted. He gets added in TBC. Yeah. Right on. That makes sense. What did we even pick up from this guy? Soothing spices? Is that what he wants us to bring him 3 soothing... Can't we just buy this at a vendor? He doesn't make us get the frog legs until TBC? Well, that's cool. I appreciate that. That's going to be a super easy one to get done if he just wants us to buy him some stuff. Anthony, thank you for saying so, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you stopping by the stream, man. It is so nice on Hardcore to be able to see new areas that we have not quested in on Hardcore. It's so great. It feels like such an achievement when you get to go somewhere new.
Hey there.
Do we have a report to make? We do. I can't read Orcish very well, but this looks like a report. It does look like a report, yeah.
Have a good one.
We've got some Stormwind music going on here. Forgot about that. A cotton pain. It's not as close to mount time as you would think, man. Like, let's do our slash played for the current level, and we'll just see how many hours have we been level 35. We have been level 35 for 4 hours and 15 minutes. By the time we hit level 36, it will have been 5 hours. So even if we say 5 hours a level, we're talking about 25 hours of gameplay probably to get our mount. So we're like close in a way if you're talking about like numerical levels, but if you're talking about like the time it's going to take, we're not that close, unfortunately. Yeah, we got a ways to go.
What are you looking for? Safe travels.
Looking for something specific? See you later. What can I do for you?
Let's
How are
grab this for now. We 18 out of 20.
Safe
Maybe we hold
travels.
off on it. Let's see what else. Upstairs, maybe? What am I missing here? Yeah, either oh no, you're right here in front of me. Here we go. High perch of venom. Here we go. That is 1,000 needles. Okay, perfect. Buy the soothing spices. Absolutely. Do we have a trade goods vendor? Maybe the cook.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for soothing spices and you don't
For the
have them.
Alliance.
Need to find a trade goods guy. If there's even one here, which I assume that there would be, but I don't know where that would be. Actually. Here we go.
See you around.
It's in the house by the flight point. Okay. Awesome. We'll check over there in a second. I think we're going into the keep to report to the captain. Oh.
What can I do for you?
We got a paladin
Got a
trainer.
good one.
That's pretty convenient. If we ding level 36 here, that's going to be really awesome. I like that. Yeah, Tim, we were at like 87 yesterday, so yeah, we're approaching the 100-hour mark. By the time we get our mount, we'll be past the 100-hour mark.
Well met.
All right, Captain Vimes, a report from an orc spy. How did you find this? No matter. Let's see what it says. Okay, what did it say? He places it on the table and reads, "By the light, this cursed spy was a good one." Okay, I'm glad he's dead. Thank you for this report. It is now clear that we must tighten our patrols. Okay, cool.
For the Alliance, light be with you. Go with honor, friend.
Step on up. Have a good one.
I buy and trade.
These are the same exact shoulders we have. What do we have here? That's not good for us. Two-handed, not good. Main hand with agility. Two two-handed swords that we don't need. A main hand with agility. Okay.
See you later.
I was hoping for better, but
Well met.
what are you gonna
Safe
do?
travels.
Hey there. See you later.
Good day to you. See you around. Hey there. See you later.
Alright, that one is done. And guys, I think I'm going to call it here for today. This seems like a really good place to pause. I can park it at the inn. We can get some rested experience for tomorrow. And yeah, it's been a really great stream. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you all showing up. It's been an amazing time. We're still alive, and tomorrow we will resume. Thank you guys again. As always, take care of yourselves out there in the real world, and take care of each other. And we'll see you back here again sometime very soon. Bye for now.